Hello once again. Welcome to the Conscious Movement. Today's article is pretty short. I just wanted to talk about, the senseless act of the looting that's happened in Chicago today. Please excuse the background noise and stuff like that. The location that I'm at right now, fortunately, there's noise in the background, so I'm trying to kind of like move away from there as possible. Um, Pretty much, what's happened in Chicago today, since a few days ago, around August of 2020, is, a bunch of, supposedly Black Lives Matter movements. They're going in there in the stores and they're stealing contents of goods, you know, stores like Nordstrom, and other expensive stores. These people are stealing jewelry and shoes and pants and so many different things. People, they're going to downtown Chicago where the expensive shoes and stuff are at, completely, bombing and, with breaking the glasses and completely just stealing things. I saw even on one video, a mother was carrying, her son with her, to come with her so that they can go loot. And I'm wondering, like, what kind of example are we setting today, with the mother running around with her little boy, probably couldn't be maybe less than maybe 6 or 7 years old, running with her, you know, because she wanted to make sure that she got there on time so that she can steal something. What kind of example are we setting today as black people? These people don't realize that the rest of the world are looking at these people. And it's unfortunate that people like that, their actions, allow other people to generalize entire black community in general. You can be hard working, work 9 to 5 job. You mind your business. You do your work. You work hard. To provide something for your children. But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, when you have the thug elements and the people within the black community that are creating these menace and supposedly joining this great movement that it was supposed to be about, but now they're completely destroying the message. At the end of the day, it destroyed the credibility of the movement itself. That's the problem of the Black Lives Matter movement. We're completely allowing these people to steal. I saw one video, this lady, and people were on the post was posted on WorldStar, and people were saying, "Oh well, she spoke really eloquently." Her motto was that because we have Black Wall Street and other black communities were destroyed by whites, in the early 30s and 40s, etc. They looted and destroyed things. That therefore is justified, for us to be able to loot as a result of that. And I looked at it like that, and the people were like, "Wow, she spoke so eloquently. That was so great." And I'm like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You were telling me that because it's 2020, it's important, therefore it's justified for us to be able to loot because of some generations ago, people that looted, and destroyed, the great black communities. That's comparable to saying that Jewish community today, that the ones that are that have ancestry that goes to Germany, Europe, Germany, have the right to go into a German store today and steal whatever they want in that store because, their ancestors, probably, the Third Reich came in there and then threw them out and threw all their stuff and took all their clothing and shoes and jewelry or whatever, stole all their goods. Therefore, they have the right to be able to do the same thing. You see how dumb that is? And I still don't understand what is wrong with the black community. We're not focused on fighting a goal, a message. The problem is the Black Lives Matter movement is there's no clear message. That's the problem. In order for us to be able to fight this movement, the injustice, and I agree this injustice, because you have certain police officers that are murdering young black men. Of course, I'm not saying all police officers are bad, but those that are bad are doing that. There are some racist elements that are within the forces that are doing that. So we're going back to, the movement itself. Why are we allowing these people to go in Chicago and looting, all in the name of BLM, Black Lives Matter? What does that have to do with looting? You know, you're going in and steal Jordan shoes. What does that have to do with young men being killed and murdered? What does that have to do with the systemic racism? What does that have to do with anything? If anything, I feel like some of these thug elements that are coming to the movement are using Black Lives Matter for their own good. That's the problem that's happening today. We're allowing some of these thug elements that are moving into the Black Lives movement and allowing them to take over the agenda. They're the ones that are setting the agenda right now. That's why you're seeing these people going into Chicago and elsewhere and stealing goods. The same people are saying that they need to defund the police organization. Mind you, I'm against racist police officers, and I've always argued in favor of those that have been hurt by police, you know. But at the same time, I'm not going to generalize all police officers and say that, well, therefore, we need to defund all police. No, some of those police officers are human beings too. Not all police officers are racist. They, you know, they wake up just like we do. They work just like we do. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, they want to be alive and go back to their family members. You see what I mean? And at the end of the day, you know, we have to look at the humanity of the police officers as well, just like we look at the humanity of the black community as well. You know, and so I feel like the message is not being set clear. If we want to be able to fight this movement, we need to stop with the whole notion that we need to defund the police. That's not going to work. Okay, New York, for instance, perfect example. They wanted to defund the police. $10 billion was funded to the police organization. They took a portion of that was going to go into the communities and other stuff. Understandable. They want to defund the police. Now some of the police organizations are now saying that, well, you know, they don't have enough money to be able to deal with a lot of the investigations and things that they used to do. The same people that want to defund the police argue that they need to get rid of the unclothed task force. Mind you, these people that are those police officers, the ones that are not closed, that I forgot their name. They used to there was a term that there was a name that they used for, you know, they are unclosed police officers. So they used to investigate for drugs and crime and all those things, and then they were able to capture so many guns off the streets. But now these plainclothes officers, now they call them, you know, basically we pretty much got rid of the task force. As a result, how do we fight this battle? That's always been my question. You know, we are allowing this element to destroy the movement. What's the solution? My solution has always been that black people, we need to separate from this thug element that's destroying our battle that we're fighting for ourselves. You know, because thug mentality, the thug culture is not black culture. People need to make a distinction. You know, I'm a big fan of, you know, hip hop and other rap and all that from back in the days, you know. But that element is no longer a product of the black community today. You know, the marketability of the hip hop and all that has changed it completely into something that's completely nothing to do with what the message is about. You know, that goes way back to the music days when jazz and all these other music that were about culture, they were about family, they were about value, society. You know, bang, bam, shooting and all that stuff has nothing to do with black culture. We are allowing these thugs elements to destroy the black community, the black elements. And what happened in New York? As a result of the defunding, the crime went up because we basically are wanting to defund the police organization. The people that were arguing that we need to defund the police, among them were people that are benefited from the police being defunded. because it's easier for Pookie down the block to be able to sell his poison within the black community when there's no police officers or police organization around there to stop him, or no plainclothes officers to investigate. It's easy for Pookie to be able to grab a gun and go shooting spree to shoot his op, because when there's no plain police officers to stop them and take away their guns. It's easy for Pookie down the block to be able to do whatever he wants because there's no police to be able to investigate, find out what's going on, and stop him before he creates a menace within the community. These are the elements that are destroying the black community. The same elements are the ones that are protesting in Chicago that were destroying and looting and destroying stores. I remember doing the Black Lives Matter movement. A lot of us were protesting, in favor of the Black Lives Matter with the George Floyd issue. We were like, wow, it needs to be, we were for it. But then when the elements came in and it started the looting, that had nothing to do with the black movement. These elements were even looting black stores. I remember watching videos of black stores that were like, wait a minute, crying. Some of the store owners were crying, saying, how are we going to be able to get any money to be able to build our stores? We don't have no money. These people were like, what is wrong with these people? What does this have to do with, their own black community, their own black stores? We don't have that many black stores out there today. And within the same community, the only few black stores that were there, they were destroying. So now after they destroy and steal and all that stuff, and mind you, these same stores are hiring people within the community. So those people have completely lost their job. And now when the stores are messed up and stuff like that, and there's nothing to buy, to get the next grocery store, what do you have to do? Travel far away to another grocery location to buy Pampers and diapers and food and whatever? And then we start calling that racism. Oh, how come, being racist, how come these stores don't come to our community or whatever? Who would want to come to communities like this? We need to be able to build these communities to make it so profitable that whenever businesses come in there, they know the type of community they're coming into, and they would respect the people that are there. But once we allow these people to destroy the community by looting and all that, we're destroying the community completely. Now, in a different video segment, I'm going to talk more about that, the gentrification issue, that it leads to. But as of now, I just wanted to talk about, I just wanted to just end by just focusing on the looting, why it needs to stop, and why we need to stop these thug elements that are joining the Black Lives Matter movement, completely destroying that, completely destroying that movement itself, and what it's standing for, or at least what it stood for. Now, other people might disagree with what I'm saying. Fine, feel free to comment. But as of now, that's pretty much my idea on this issue. And I feel like we can do better than that, within the black community itself. Anyway, stay tuned for the next video. Take care. Bye.